welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex B and this is Alex Be Well, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about therapy. Now, what is therapy, you may ask? No. So just how you have physical therapy, meaning if something's wrong here, you learn how to cope with it and you learn how to manage it. Same with psychotherapy. Psycho meaning the brain, the dome, your noggin, your head. And it's not just for people that are suffering with a mental illness, it is for you to be able to learn how to cope with life's stresses. And if you have a mental illness, then coping is much harder than someone without a mental illness. So therapy is for everybody. So I know a lot of the reasons why people don't often reach out to go to therapy is because they feel like they're not sick enough. It's not sick enough. You don't have to be sick. You don't have to be sick enough to get help, okay? You deserve help. You are worthy of help. Go get some help, okay? None of this, I'm not sick enough shit, all right? What I'm talking about today is cognitive behavioral therapy, and that's like your basic therapy. It's changing negative habit patterns and behaviors into positive, helpful ones, and learning coping skills to help relieve some of the symptoms of depression and anxiety and other mental illnesses. The way I have my therapy is I have insurance. If you don't have insurance, we live in the age of the internet, and there are different online therapists where you can chat with them, call them, message them. I have not used this service, but back in the day when I was first getting started with therapy, I would have definitely reached out for that to be an option, because I know meeting with someone face-to-face can be a little nerve-wracking. And when you are looking for a therapist, something that I've done and that I feel like has helped me is having a therapist that's kind of similar to you. Meaning if you are young and female, it usually helps to have a young female therapist. If you are older and male, it probably helps to have an older male therapist. And if you're a mother, you'd probably want a therapist who's also a mother. It makes it kind of easier to speak up and feel comfortable. At least that's what I've found. So for me, it's young women with early morning appointments available. I would recommend, if it is your first time in therapy, to schedule it on your day off or when you don't really have anything to do after, because sometimes in therapy you can walk out feeling great, and other times you may open up something that opens up the floodgates. So just in case the floodgates do open, usually you'll need some time to analyze everything. So I recommend kind of like having some alone time. And on your first appointment, don't feel pressure to, spill your guts. I feel like the first appointment is almost like a coffee date, seeing if you guys get along and seeing, if you feel like one day you would be able to open up to them. And I would recommend scheduling your next appointment while you're still in the office, just because, well, for me, I would forget and then I just wouldn't be going anymore. Because as an adult, you gotta make your own doctor's appointments, and sometimes you forget for a year. And a therapist is just someone that asks you thought-provoking questions and teaches you coping skills to deal with the stresses of life. What a therapist is not, it's not someone that gives advice. I want to make sure like I'm phrasing this properly. For example, if you are thinking about breaking up with your partner, your therapist wouldn't be like, you should break up, or your therapist won't say you should stay. They would ask you the questions, because I believe that we all have the answers within inside us. Because one coping skill is learning how to make decisions for yourself. I guess I'll talk a little bit about my experience with therapy. So I knew when I was 18, I'm 24 now, that, I was depressed and that I had anxiety. So I believe I did tell my parents, what I was going through. So then we made an appointment and I was in therapy for a while. and then I stopped going just probably because I wasn't ready to accept that I was depressed and anxious. Oh no, because I was diagnosed as bipolar and I wasn't ready to like address that yet. So I stopped going for about 2 years, and then I tried again when I was around 20 years old because of depression and anxiety, and I did not like that therapist. And at the time I didn't know that you can like fire your therapist. You can fire your therapist. It's okay. They won't take it personally at all. So like I had a few sessions with her, and then I was like, I don't like this. Just because she told me, I don't even know if I should share this, but pretty much like I was having like problems with the person I was dating at the time, and she basically told me, she was like, you know, Mexicans lie. I mean, she was Mexican herself, but she was like, Mexican men lie. I was like, ooh, she's dealing with some of her own issues, and I just didn't want that. And then when I was 22, I found the therapist that I have now, and she is a dream. However, the first time, I think I was there for like 6 months, and then I thought I was cured of depression and anxiety, and it started back up at the beginning of this year. So in January, my depression and anxiety. So I went back to her, and I've been going ever since. At first I was going, every 2 weeks, and now it's about every 3 weeks to once a month. Yeah, I love it. I am still continuing to learn about, coping skills and sharing what I've learned with you guys. I think that's it. All done. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of my experience with therapy. I mean, give it a shot. Some people are like, I don't know if it helps, but it can't hurt. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, subscribe. If you're able to be a little bit vulnerable and open up, share your experience with therapy down in the comments below. I will see you in the next video. Bye.